seated. Live from the media desk of the conference, bringing you the latest updates and highlights from today's session. Now, I invite media.
Good morning, everyone. This is my great honor to welcome you to this modern United Nations, a testament of commitment to nationalism and the pursuit of solutions to the world's most pressing issues. In this session, we have the unique opportunity to step into the shoes of diplomats to understand diverse perspectives and to cultivate skills of communication, consultation, and cooperation. This is not an ordinary year, highlighting the plight of people in crisis zones of various parts of the world. This session is about making the resolve to be better together. How much worse of the world could be, noting that the UN organs always emphasize on imparting education and providing nutritional guide to almost 125 million people. This institution was born in a world on fire, and since then it has a compass pointing towards peace, humanity, and justice. It's not about the story of one of its easy victories, but of falling and rising, and trying harder to achieve still goals. Today's agenda includes three critical global issues: NATO expansion and the global power balance, AI service and digital control, and the weaponization of energy resources. We'll begin with roll call. Delegates, please respond with present or present and voting. Let's start with the permanent countries. Republic of China, French Federation, United States of America, Russian Federation. Now, now let's call connecting officer foreign to say the United Kingdom. Now let's call to call the non-permanent countries of the modern United Nations.
I am
Republic of India, Federal Republic of Germany, Japan, Commonwealth of Australia, Canada, Republic of Ukraine. Islamic Republic of Iran, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, Republic of Turkey, Arab Republic of Egypt, Federated Republic of Brazil. European Union, Swiss Confederation, Democratic Republic of South Korea, North Korea, Spain, Republic of Philippines, Iraq.
This UN session shall focus on major global challenges, urging member states to cooperate on issues like peace, human rights, climate change, development, harnessing technology, and highlighting the need for immediate and decisive action on climate change. Thank you, delegates. The quorum has been met. We shall now proceed with our first issue, NATO expansion and the global power balance. The floor is now open for deliberation on NATO expansion and the global power balance. Delegates, diplomatic decorum, and the delegate of the United States is recognized. Now, let's begin the session. The delegate of United States is recognized.
Honorable Chair, distinguished delegates, the United States reaffirms that NATO's purpose has always been the protection of freedom, democracy, and international security. Our expansion has been voluntary and mutually agreed upon. Nations join NATO not out of coercion but from a shared belief in peace and stability. We remain open to dialogue with all. Let it be clear, NATO does not seek conflict. It seeks assurance for every nation that wishes to live without the fear of invasion or tyranny. This is a purely defensive commitment that serves to deter aggression and ensure stability for all members, respecting their sovereign right to choose their own security arrangements. NATO promotes strong democratic institutions and rule of law.
Alam dah mic. Smile mic.
NATO's continued enlargement towards Russia's borders, with the United States committed to concrete, verifiable limits on forward deployment and a timetable for armed control dialogue to reduce mutual insecurity.
The US reaffirms that sovereign states have the right to choose their own security arrangements. Nevertheless, we welcome practical, verifiable, confident building measures, including notifications from large-scale exercises and bilateral channels for arms control dialogue, and will engage constructively to reduce the risk of miscalculation.
NATO's goal is peace. Why increase tensions near Russia?
Expansion is defensive and voluntary.
Defensive words or offensive actions. Peace cannot come from provocation.
Is NATO membership really voluntary or under US pressure? Countries choose freely for protection.
Choice is free when tied to US political and economic influence. Why interview without your approval, like Libya?
To protect civilians and democracy.
Do democracy respect civil law, not bypass it?
I hope US has cleared your doubts.
Russian Federation.
Europeo di trono, usualmente dedicate nazionale NATO, e con Emir e con Gruza, Rosistia Petristia, Jesier, e più instrumente vandilate Zapata, Orion, Nashriak, Problete Sabinos, Matabream, Usuane Sekirata, Israel, Rosistia Petristia, Nakacet Usuake, Kanaski, Nashriak.
For decades, Russia has won encirclement, yet NATO continues to expand closer to our borders. If security is a right, then it belongs to all nations, not only those within NATO. The constant military build-up under the banner of defense creates insecurity, not stability.
In light of troop movements and military exercises in Ukraine and neighboring states, steps, such as withdrawing certain formations from border regions to enable effective diplomatic engagement.
Russia will not accept dictates on its sovereign troop dispositions. We will, however, consider reciprocal measures and principles if concrete bilateral confidence building arrangements are negotiated, and if NATO limits activities perceived as their direct threats near our borders.
United Kingdom.
Honorable Chair, distinguished delegates, the United Kingdom rises not merely as an island on the map, but as a nation that stands firm in its belief that NATO expansion is not a march of hostility, but a symphony of unity. Tell me, is it aggression when nations choose to work together in pursuit of peace? Every flag that joins NATO does so by will, not by money. They do that by hope, not by fear. To us, each new member is not an act of dominance, but a declaration that freedom still finds its way. The United Kingdom welcomes dialogue, not divisions between NATO and the world beyond it. Yet, let us be clear, the shield of peace must never be mistaken for the sword of provocation. Security cannot be used as an excuse for aggression, nor can silence be the strategy for survival. We stand ready to talk, to listen, and above all, to defend the principles that peace must never go down with fear. Thank you, delegates.
Federal Republic of Germany.
Justus zeigt Geistesgehörig mit Veto und Schlafen zu geistlich weiter.
Honorable Chair, distinguished delegates, Germany approaches this subject from a place of sober historical awareness and pragmatic responsibility. NATO's formation was a response to insecurity and a promise of mutual defense. That historical context matters. Yet, we must acknowledge that the contemporary expansion of a transatlantic alliance into adjacent regions carries complex strategic implications that cannot be ignored if the objective is durable stability.
Therefore, Germany proposes a two-track approach. First, a transparent confidence-building track, and second, an integration track. Delegates, let us be blunt. Security that is built on suspicion is brittle. The quantitative growth of alliances does not automatically translate into qualitative peace. If we allow reflex of enlargement to proceed without mechanisms that build mutual confidence, we risk consolidating blocks rather than dissolving the practices that gave rise to tensions in the first place. Thank you, delegates.
Germany, we have a question. You call for stability while supporting further NATO enlargement. How will Germany ensure that enlargement does not translate into geopolitical exclusion of large regions? And will you join a multilateral forum that includes non-NATO powers to discuss security guarantees?
Germany stresses that stability requires inclusivity. We propose a multilateral security forum open to NATO and non-NATO states to discuss the transparency, risk reduction, and regional concerns. Germany is prepared to participate and host initial sessions to build trust across nations. Thank you, delegates.
People's Republic of China.
Honorable Chair, heads, respected delegates, and American President. The delegation of the People's Republic of China believes that the continuous expansion of NATO is not just a change in global security, it marks the beginning of a new Cold War. Zongyo Renbai, Rea de Puzong de Goshi Vele Alpha, Arshi Vele Fada Yinchikli. China believes NATO's expansion is not for safety but to increase influence. When one group of nations look for its own security by making others feel unsafe, it only creates fear and distrust. History teaches us that peace comes from cooperation, not confrontation. China believes that real security means working together, not forming groups against each other. We do not need more military alliances that divide the power. We need more friendships and understanding among nations. Instead of building alliances with power, let us build systems for peace. Peace is built with trust, not with troubles. Progress is built with partnership, not with isolation. China wants a world where all countries are equal, respected, and can develop together. We can ask everyone here to choose dialogue over division and cooperation over conflict. Let's work for a future where no nation feels left behind or protected. A world that values peace, respect, and shared progress. Thank you.
French Republic.
Estates and treasures. La France sought la cooperation, mais rejected la nomination. La France is time, quite arrogant, joy restore defensive. Dans cet esprit, noise proposes, unique initiative can join. Un dialogue de Paris sur la paix. Ladies and gentlemen, France supports cooperation but rejects domination. France believes NATO must remain defensive. We propose a joint initiative, a Paris dialogue on peace, bringing NATO and non-NATO states together to renew commitments to transparency.
France emphasized that European Defence Initiative and France's global role, including UN responsibilities, are complementary to and not replacement for the alliance's collective defence mission.
Republic of India.
माननीय अध्यक्ष महोदय, भारत का मानना है कि विश्व शक्ति संतुलन हथियारों से संवाद से स्थापित होता है। जब संवाद रुकता है तो संघर्ष शुरू होता है। भारत यह भी मानता है कि सुरक्षा का अधिकार हर राष्ट्र का है, न कि किसी विशेष समूह का। भारत कभी भी प्रभुत्व या दबाव के रास्ते पर नहीं चलता, बल्कि इसका अस्तित्व और संतुलन में विश्वास रखता है। हमारे लिए स्ट्रेटेजिक ऑटोनॉमी सिर्फ नीति नहीं, बल्कि पहचान है, जो भारत को सबके बीच एक विश्वास के सूत्र बनाता है।
Honorable Chair, distinguished delegates, India believes that the balance of power is not built by weapons but by dialogue. When dialogue stops, conflicts begin. India also believes that the right to security belongs to every nation and not just a few. India upholds the principle of strategic autonomy. We neither endorse blocks nor yield to pressure. Expansion without understanding creates insecurity, not peace. Instead of competing for dominance, the world must compete in building trust. India urges nations to replace deterrence with dialogue and rivalry with reason. Because in a world divided by mistrust, dialogue is the only true defense. Let us remember that security achieved at the cost of another's peace is not security at all. Peace cannot be preserved by power, it can only be preserved by partnership.
True power lies not in how many stand behind it, but in how many stand beside. Through trust, through balance, and through dialogue that strengthens peace, not pride. India envisions a world where alliances are built on respect, not rivalry, where strength is shared, not showcased.
Republic of Turkey.
Günaydın, Sayın Başkan, Türkiye halkı ümreni gösterdi. Aynı zamanda arasında ve kırgın. Türkiye kong ülkenin güvenliğinin en iyi aramakta, yolunu sürmakta kararlı. Biz de defakan seviyesi aksar ve aynı zamanda atletlerine aksında biz Osmanlı istiyoruz.
Honorable Chair, distinguished delegates, Turkey is a NATO member but also a bridge between East and West. Turkey urges NATO to be mindful of regional sensitivities. Security must not come at the expense of sovereignty. We want the alliance to be not merely a military structure but a symbol of justice, solidarity, and mutual respect. Turkey understands the security concerns of its neighbors and remains committed to its role as a mediator. The delegate of Turkey emphasizes that true stability can only come when every nation feels heard, not isolated. Turkey stands ready to facilitate dialogue between East and West, ensuring that peace is built on trust, not tension.
Republic of Ukraine.
Povazne veliki Ukrainia Borussia, za svojo svobodu tamajbotu. Ukrainia predstavuje jednostavni nadzor sela vsem praksi takosti. Razumesen nation.
Honorable delegates, Ukraine fights for its freedom and its future. It supports communities in peace. NATO is a corporation for security and unity. Ukraine indicates that it wants to be part of the NATO alliance.
Excellencies, distinguished delegates, look not to the map of Ukraine, but to the mirror of international order. What you see reflected is not peace, but a system in terror. For centuries, we built this house uniting nations for the sacred conviction. Yet today, our founding members have reduced that charter to act. We seek allies not for conquest, but for protection. Ukraine stands as the victim, but we are also the shield. We fight not just for our land, but to ensure when the law or do we indulge chaos?
Delegates, the true test of global unity is not the conflict itself, but how we respond to the silence. Where is the thunderous voice of condemnation? Where is the collective will to enforce the law? I ask you all as representatives of humanity, if you remain silent, if you equivocate, if you vote against justice, then what nation's sovereignty will be surrendered next? Our children will ask us when the moments of the test arrive, where do you stand? Let your vote today be the answer that saves the integrity of your own consciousness. Thank you.
It's my goods.
Good morning, Honorable Chair, distinguished delegates, esteemed guests, and respected members of this committee. Australia deeply acknowledges that its historical contribution to global stability. However, we believe that maintaining peace and global stability. However, we believe maintaining peace and balance requires equal attention beyond Europe, particularly in the Indo-Pacific region, which must not be allowed to earn and use our attention. We urge upon a dialogue involving Asian Pacific states, ensuring regional security, alliance with global peace, not block party. Australia also emphasizes that true global stability can only be achieved through shared responsibility and mutual understanding among nations. Security in one region should never come at the peace of another. In today's interconnected world, economically, digitally, and strategically, our actions in one area affect the entire globe. Australia believes in cooperation, transparency, maritime safety, and climate facilities. True security will not come from military alliances alone, but from mutual trust and sustainable development. Australia stands ready to work with all nations, NATO or otherwise, to promote open dialogue, uphold international law, and ensure the Indo-Pacific remains a region of peace, not pressure. Thank you, President.
Republic of Brazil.
Senhor Presidente, todos. O Brasil acredita que a segurança global é prioridade para todos, como desenvolvimento.
Honorable President and countries, greetings to all. Brazil believes global security is the priority of all, along with development. Brazil emphasizes that security in today's interconnected world must go beyond military alliances. We call for renewed efforts in diplomacy, regional stability, and economic cooperation to build a true balance of power that promotes peace and development for all nations.
European Union.
Chers Belarus, l'Union européenne souhaite la stabilité face à la stabilité. Greetings to the Honorable Chair, dear delegates, esteemed guests, and our respected heads. The European Union stands for balance, not domination. NATO's expansion will strengthen cooperation, not create confrontation. Dialogue with Estado de más fuerte. Europe must stay united and open to dialogue with all nations. The EU values unified role in collective defense. Yet we remind us simply, security cannot come at the cost of sovereignty. Security is built with trust, not fear. Expansion should aim to protect, not provoke. As new challenges arise, cyber threats, information and energy dependency, Europe believes cooperation across borders is essential. La tecnología debe ser la pace, no el poder. Technology must serve peace, not power. respect for every partner. We must ensure that power does not shift toward domination, but toward dialogue. Together, we can diversity, united in diversity. We can build a world where alliances defend humanity, not harmony. Let's Dear delegates, the European Union stands for a NATO that builds bridges, not barriers. Expansion must unite nations through dialogue and trust. The Union Nace la Parapecia, unity creates strength. The EU believes that true security is not measured by the size of alliances, but by the depth of cooperation. Frieden ist keine Wette, sondern unsere Stärke. Peace is not weakness, but our strength. Camminiamo insieme alla pace. Let us work together for peace. The European Union stands ready to cooperate with all partners to ensure that NATO remains a force of balance, dignity, and lasting stability. For protect without justice is fragile, but justice with unity is unbreakable. Mercy, thank you.
Spain.
La derecha de España implica la expansión y la dieta de verde. La securización de los pueblos y los partidos de conflicto y cooperation. Honorable Chair, distinguished delegates, Spain views NATO's expansion as a matter of balance, not dominance. The alliance must aim to protect, not promote. Every new step of expansion should be guided by dialogue, transparency, and collective security, ensuring no nation feels cornered. Spain stands for cooperation over confrontation and diplomacy over division. The question is to India. Why does India now support NATO's expansion and engage in wider security frameworks?
The question is to India.
Honorable Chair, India views NATO expansion as a chance for greater global cooperation. Security challenges today cross borders, and partnership with NATO can help protect peace, technology, and development worldwide.
My question is to France. How does France view the benefits of NATO expansion in strengthening European unity and global security?
Distinguished delegates, France believes NATO expansion strengthens unity and defense. It is not to show power, but of partnership, a broader NATO means a safer world. Thank you.
My question is to China. How does China justify its view that NATO expansion represents the beginning of a new Cold War? And what alternative framework does it propose to prevent global polarization? Respected Chair, China believes that NATO's expansion requires Cold War division and fuel mistrust. Instead of collective blocks, we propose global security, partnership based on mutual respect, non-interference, and shared development. True peace comes from cooperation, not confrontation.
The House will not deliberate about the gender, artificial intelligence, surveillance, and digital control. Delegates are reminded to maintain decorum and relevance to the topic. The floor is now open for general debate. The delegate of China may begin.
Sushi women Shen. Zishen Kishu Yayan women and Leg. Gushi Kwanzi and Leg. J. We believe that intelligent technology should not serve humanity, not control it. China recognizes that artificial intelligence is a transformative power. It can make our world smarter, more efficient, and more connected. But this power must be guided by ethics, fairness, and respect for application sovereignty. Some Western countries often accuse China of using technology for surveillance, yet they themselves monitor the entire world in the name of security. This delegates is not fairness, it is digital hypocrisy. Every country has the right to protect and govern its own data, to choose its own path of technological development, and to safeguard its digital borders. China believes AI should bring people together, not create competition or control. Technology must help humans, not replace them. It should make life easier, education better, and the world safer for all. We need international rules that respect every nation equally, not systems controlled by a few powerful states. Each country should be free to develop AI in ways that suits its people and culture. Let's work together to build trust in technology, not fear of it. Let's make AI a tool for peace and progress, not for power or division. China calls for cooperation to share knowledge, ensure fairness, and build a future where technology truly serves humanity.
Question. Canada is concerned that surveillance technologies exported abroad may be used to replace civil space. Will China adopt export control or use assurance to prevent the transfer of intrusive surveillance systems to actors who violate human rights?
China emphasizes national sovereignty in technology governance. We are open to multilateral discussions of responsible technology trade and not to exploring standards that prevent misuse. But we will not accept unilateral restrictions that impair the independent commerce or development.
United States of America.
The United States appreciates the chair. We firmly believe in the responsible advancement of AI. Under transport and surrounding principles, surveillance must never be used as a weapon of repression. But makes no mistake, inaction is weapon of repression. Neutrality. If we fail to establish international safeguards now, AI can become the greatest tool of manipulation in modern history. We must actively work with our allies and partners to develop social standards for AI systems. These standards should prioritize safety, transparency, and interoperability.
Question was, why trust U.S. presidency after global spying leaks?
Reforms have ensured accountability.
Trust needs proof, not promises. Secrecy still remains. How justify foreign surveillance under security?
It's for counter-terrorism and safety.
Security should violate sovereignty. That's control, not protection.
Russian Federation.
Господин президент, агреата свободена, свободяна изпълнение Осман, осистия предистия сечия, чиниото Османи Крамазко, електа де камиарото сумия, режия поправя норми. Мир зона Харват, Алдая, Прогресия, Аделия, Конкентрава, Апресия, Кребезбал, Сумиано технологии, технологии, обвязка присутствие, звания свободия шедводи.
For decades, American intelligence has spied on allies and enemies alike. Now they speak of ethical AI hypocrisy. Russia stands for technological sovereignty. Each nation must protect its digital borders as it does its physical ones.
There are
provide medical reports and automated disinformation campaigns to actors within the Russian cyberspace. When Russia cooperated on transparent investigation and a joint cyber launch task to prevent AI-driven information manipulation.
Russia rejects blanket accusation. We propose a joint, politically neutral task force under UN auspices to examine cyber incidents transparently, and we will participate in processes that do not serve as instruments of political pressure.
Federal Republic of Germany.
One example of Kasen inventors this M24 industrial and strategic that are scholars of their solar project. Honorable Chair, distinguished delegates, Germany recognizes the transformative benefits of artificial intelligence across health, transport, and governance. But we also see the increasing clarity of the extensive social risks of unregulated digital control, automated profiling, opaque decision-making that affects legal rights, and suppression of dissent. These risks are compounded when powerful actors deploy surveillance AI at scale without independent oversight. To confront this risk, Germany proposes a three-pillar governance model: a global standard for algorithmic transparency, mandatory judicial or independent oversight for any state-use surveillance program, and international audit for certification measures for high-risk AI systems, administered by a UN-mandated technical body with civil society representation.
Delegates, the ethical stakes here could not be higher. We are in a moment where war will carry values into the future. Values we either choose or inadvertently embed. If we fail to act, we risk normalizing the surveillance architecture that becomes irreversible. That is not merely a policy failure, it is a moral application. Germany therefore calls upon this assembly to adopt an international digital rights charter that enshrines privacy, due process, and human oversight as universal norms. Thank you.
Republic of India.
माननीय अध्यक्ष महोदय, भारत विवेक बुद्धिमत्ता को मानवता की सेवा का साधन मानता है, न कि नियंत्रण का। तकनीक से अन्वेषण स्वतंत्रता को मजबूत करना होना चाहिए, न कि उसे सीमित करना। भारत का विश्वास है कि एआई तभी उपयोगी है जब वो मानव मूल्यों के अनुरूप रहे, दया, ईमानदारी और न्याय के साथ। डिजिटल विकास तभी अर्थपूर्ण है जब वो हर नागरिक उसका हिस्सा बन सके। भारत दृष्टिकोण है कि तकनीक इंसान को सशक्त बनाने का साधन बने, न कि नियंत्रण करने का।
Honorable Chair, India views artificial intelligence as a tool to serve humanity, not control it. Technology must strengthen freedom, not restrict it. If data is the new oil, protecting it is as vital as protecting human rights. India believes that the digital future must rest on transparency, accountability, and shared ethics. Technology cannot be allowed to turn into a weapon of surveillance or suppression. Instead, it must become a bridge of inclusion that connects innovation with equity. For developing nations, access to the technology is not charity, it is equality. But equality must come with responsibility. Every nation must pledge that innovation will never outpace humanity. In a connected world, no one's privacy, dignity, or freedom should be the price of progress.
Let innovation be guided by conscience, not by control, and may every line of code reflect the values of humanity and freedom. India believes that progress without ethics is regression in disguise. The digital age not divide growth between the powerful and parties, but united to share knowledge, trust, and security. Thank you.
Commonwealth of Australia.
Honorable Chair and distinguished delegates, Australia recognizes the growing role of artificial intelligence in defense. While AI can enhance security and efficiency, its use must be guided by a transparency, ethics, and human oversight. No technology should replace human judgment, especially in matters of peace and security. Australia believes accountability must remain central to AI defense. Autonomous systems should operate under meaningful human control, and any misuse must face clear consequences. We urge global corporations to create frameworks that ensure AI promotes stability and responsible innovation. Thank you.
Islamic Republic of Iran.
Mr. Chair, the world is turning to a prison made of data. The best means of freedom by maintaining physical chains of digital control. Iran rejects its democracy. Technology should not be used to undermine national independence or cultural domination. Iran reaffirms its commitment to responsible AI development and digital governance and safeguards both national security and citizens' dignity. The Islamic Republic of Iran emphasizes that digital sovereignty must be protected with the same respect as stated before.
Constructive dialogue, not confrontation, is path towards a fair, secure digital future for all the nations.
Japan.
By emphasizing accountability and moral responsibility, Japan highlights the need for technology that serves people, not power. The principle that machines should serve compassion, not power, calls for AI to promote empathy, fairness, and social good rather than control or exploitation.
Mr. Chair, AI is the key to the future, but it may also open dark doors. Japan advocates for an AI ethics treaty, ensuring transparency and human oversight in all automated decision-making systems. Machines should serve compassion, not power. Technology must serve humanity, not enslave it. Japan urges the formation of an international AI ethics treaty. Unchecked AI surveillance threatens freedom and democracy.
Kingdom of Saudi Arabia.
نحن خادم ونبيب وفيصل أحمد خان نمتلك المملكة العربية السعودية. ترعى المملكة العربية السعودية عنها المراقبة الدقيقة الاستماع والتحكم الوطني من حدودها التحديد والعلم والوطني. خلال التنحية الصوتية للبيانات وتبحث السياسة الاقتصادية. كما تشاكل هذه التقنيات في الحدود النجحة والإقدام الحكومي على الإزالة الكفاءة والتسهيل الرغبة.
Honorable Chair, Saudi Arabia views AI services and region control as a center for its modernization and national security strategy. Through the Saudi Data and Artificial Intelligence Authority, SDAIA, these technologies are used in smart cities and government services to boost efficiency and oversight.
Swiss Confederation.
Her voice is gendered, which means law and protect all individual ground.
Mr. Chair, Switzerland leads in equality in the digital realm.
For the neutral data space.
An international framework where privacy is guaranteed across borders. The right to digital autonomy must be treated as a human right.
Switzerland believes that trust is the foundation of all technology. Without transparency, there will be no true progress. And we urge all nations to commit to data fairness, open accountability, and share digital security, not as competitors but as partners. Neutrality in the digital era means ensuring that innovation serves people, not power. Thank you, Excellency.
Canada.
Honored Chair and esteemed delegates, as we gather here today, we remind of the significant impact of artificial intelligence on our lives. AI has the potential to improve our lives, make things more efficient and drive innovation. But we must also recognize the risks associated with this technology. The unchecked use of AI surveillance and digital control threatens to undermine our fundamental human rights, our privacy, and our democracy. Canada is committed to protecting the rights and freedoms of its citizens. We believe that AI surveillance and digital control must be subject to rigorous scrutiny, transparency, and accountability. We can't allow the precedent of security and efficiency to come at the cost of our individual liberties. This is not just a concern, it is a fundamental issue that affects the very fabric of our societies. The spread of AI surveillance and digital control is a worrying trend that will lead to a dystopian reality. It is a threat to our autonomy, our agency, and our humanity. We risk creating a world where citizens are constantly monitored and their freedoms are restricted. This is not the world we want to live in. Canada urges the international community to join us in rejecting this agenda and promoting a more balanced approach to AI development. So, let us take a stand and ensure that AI is used not oppressed. Let us shape a future that is worthy of our values and our principles. Thank you.
Canada proposes a framework that prioritizes human rights, transparency, and accountability in AI development and deployment. This framework should include robust safeguards to prevent the misuse of AI and ensure that individuals have controls over their personal data. We should also establish clear guidelines for the use of AI in law enforcement and national security to prevent the erosion of civil liberties. Let's work together to create a future where AI enhances our lives without compromising our lives, our values, and freedom together. Dear delegates, we ensure shape a future that balances progress with principle, innovation with integrity, and security with liberty. AI is committed to the vision and we invite you to join us in this critical endeavor. By working together, we can make a difference and ensure that AI is used to benefit all humanity, not just a few. Thank you.
Republic of Philippines.
Tanggap lang po ay Philippines na sa kapag-usap natin English na hindi kami sa mag-alloy.
Honorable Chair, the Philippines stands alert at the rise of invisible empires, built not with armies but with algorithms. With eyes that never blink, watch everything. Liberty becomes a fusion. Technology must serve humanity, not enslave it. We call upon nations to draw a line between innovation and inclusion. So when data becomes a weapon, democracy becomes the first casualty.
For a future where progress walks hand in hand with rights. Thank you.
Spain.
Espera, depende, ocupo ético para la licencia artística. La tecnología debe servir del ser humano a controlarlo. La libertad y la felicidad son feroz o omisión. In the digital age, control is now about the cost of freedom. Spain stresses the urgent need for global regulations on AI surveillance to prevent misuse and protect human data. Artificial intelligence should enhance transparency, not create fear. Spain believes in a digital future that empowers citizens, not monitors them.
United Kingdom.
Honorable Chair, esteemed delegates, the world once feared bombs and borders. Today, we fear something far wider, the science of non-privacy, one like that time. The United Kingdom recognizes the artificial intelligence when misused can blur the lines between connection and control. But we must remember that the technology itself is not the enemy, but the absence of ethics. Surveillance with guided watches and words becomes not a cage, but a shield. Let us not wage war on ignorance, but teach it in humanity.
The UK firmly believes in digital freedom with digital responsibility. That is why we support the creation of global AI ethics guidelines, ensuring transparency, fairness, and accountability in every environment. We call for international cooperation to safeguard citizens' rights, prevent data misuse, and protect democracy in this space. Because the right to privacy is not the privilege of the rich, it is the inheritance of the poor. The United Kingdom dreams of a world where AI serves humanity and not the other way around. Where progress does not watch us, it walks with us. Thank you.
My question is to you. Critics argue that advanced AI surveillance systems may risk violating liberties. How do you justify this expansion?
We understand the global concerns. Our position is that the surveillance must serve security without sacrificing freedom. AI must operate under law, transparent oversight, and public accountability. We are committed to frameworks that prevent abuse while ensuring safety. Thank you.
My question is to Spain.
How exactly do you plan to protect citizens' data from foreign or corporate exploitation?
cyber laws, data protection framework, and investing in local digital talent, data will remain an active resource.
My question is brief. How do you respond to fears that AI could be used to monitor political decisions? We differentiate between authentic expression and self-truth safety. AI should identify content, not side disagreement. Protection of rights remains a priority.
Now, let's begin the third agenda, weaponization of energy resources. Each speaker will have 1 minute to address the committee. The delegate of Germany, you have the floor.
Der Entlass der Gruppe Alaska Zentrale der Kurzwani humanitäre Unfolge.
Honorable Chair, distinguished colleagues, the deliberate use of energy supply as a lever of state coercion has demonstrable humanitarian and economic consequences, from heating shortages in winter to industrial shutdowns that precipitate unemployment and famine risks. Germany has experienced such vulnerabilities. We speak not from theory, but from the lived reality of energy shocks. The geopolitical weaponization of oil, gas, or critical minerals disrupts markets, undermines development, and weaponizes scarcity itself. Germany proposes a multi-layered response. First, the establishment of a UN energy security mechanism that provides emergency allocation guidelines during politically induced supply disruptions to protect vulnerable populations. Second, binding transparency obligations on strategic energy contracts to prevent covert manipulated measures. And third, accelerated financing and technology transfer for renewable energy infrastructure in import-dependent states.
Delegates, weaponizing energy is a form of coercion that undermines social contracts and tests our collective conscience. When light is turned off by geopolitical decisions, we are no longer witnessing high policy, we are witnessing human suffering. Germany therefore urges this assembly to treat energy weaponization not merely as an economic dispute, but as a matter of international humanitarian concern. Thank you very much.
Russian Federation.
Rossijskaja Adrianska, Elvira Čotonova Adrianska, Vod Viskija, Treći Kostios, Sami Skolja Zvar, Čiju, Kauzonija, Vod Vonijata, Vode Fonse, Energiskija, Zvona Kubijata, Zvona, Mos Kimijata, Konflikte.
Russia declares that it will not tolerate hypocrisy. You can call it weaponization when we adjust supply, or strategy when we impose sanctions. Energy is an asset, a right of sovereignty. We do not use it as a weapon. We use it as a leverage in response to aggression. If nations wish for stability, they must first get double standards.
Canada asks, will the Russian Federation commit to a legally binding, time-limited mechanism that prevents deliberate interruptions of stimulant energy supplies to dependent states as a means of political coercion?
Russia rejects open-ended legal constraints that undermine its sovereign economic decisions. We will, however, entertain negotiated reciprocal mechanisms, crafted multilaterally that protect essential humanitarian supplies while preserving states' right to manage their resources in response to extraordinary circumstances.
People's Republic of China.
initiative. Wolfgang Hazan. China supports shared development. Energy should unite economies, not divide them. China believes that energy must be a bridge of cooperation, not a weapon of control. We strongly oppose the use of energy resources as tools for political pressure, sanctions, or confrontation. History shows that turning energy into a weapon only deepens mistrust and harms ordinary people. No nation should suffer in the cold or darkness because of political rivalry. China believes energy security is built on mutual respect, fairness, and stability. The nations compete over pipelines, resources, or supply which everyone uses. Instead of conflict, we must choose cooperation. China calls on the global community to create systems where energy is shared, reliable, and sustainable. We must invest in renewable resources, solar, wind, hydro, and nuclear that reduce dependency on any single region or country. Energy is light, it powers our homes, industries, and future. Let it never become a weapon that threatens peace. Together, let's make sure energy connects us, not divides us. Let's build a fair and secure global energy system, one that benefits all nations equally. Thank you.
Republic of India.
माननीय अध्यक्ष महोदय, भारत के लिए ऊर्जा सिर्फ अर्थव्यवस्था का आधार नहीं है, जीवन की आवश्यकता है। जब ऊर्जा को हथियार बनाया जाता है तो केवल राजनीति नहीं, मानवता पर प्रहार होता है। ऊर्जा को प्रतियोगिता का नहीं, सहयोग के माध्यम बनाना ही सच्ची विकासशील राजनीति है। भारत का विश्वास है कि ऊर्जा पर अधिकार देने, उसका सम्मान, प्रति विश्व शांति की कुंजी है। हमारे लिए सुरक्षित और सांस्कृतिक ऊर्जा के माध्यम से विश्व सहकार सबसे बड़ा लक्ष्य है।
Honorable Chair, for India, energy is not just economic pillars, but the essence of life. When energy is weaponized, it is not politics. It is an attack on humanity. Energy should be a medium of cooperation, not competition. India asserts that the weaponization of energy is a moral failure and a humanitarian crisis in itself. Every nation deserves a fair access to resources without coercion or control. We call for a UN-led Global Energy Stability Pact to promote renewables, diversify supply, and protect developing nations from economic vulnerability. Energy must remain a public good, not a political instrument. Let energy cooperation be guided by equality, sustainability, and shared responsibility so that no nation's progress depends on another's pressure. The measure of powers lies not in who controls the supply, but in who shares the responsibility.
Energy must empower lives, not individuals. It should fuel peace, not politics. Let energy be the bridge between progress and compassion, between prosperity and responsibility. India has firmly believed that when nations share energy, they share hope, and that lightness of cooperation always outshines the darkness of control. For true development is not measured by consumption, but by contribution. Let every drop of energy ignite innovation, not intimidation, and your pursuit of power always remain rooted in the same purpose, a purpose that serves humanity before ambition. Thank you.
United States of America.
Stand देखो यार।
Thank you, Honorable Chair. The United States stands firmly against the use of energy as an instrument of coercion. Supply chains must be open, transparent, and market. We emphasize collective resilience, not dependence.
This non-market behavior threatens global stability, violates international norms, and constitutes economic aggression. Renewable sources are naturally decentralized, abundant everywhere, and cannot be politically monopolized or weaponized. The U.S. calls upon the responsible to draft an immediate resolution establishing fair energy trading practices exploitation.
French Republic.
France joined from the way. We are diplomatic, energetic, loyal, thanks to responsibility. Lord's blesses or corporate, on and drink, deviate conditional, alignment, politics, loves compromise. Less ideals, dreams, decline, and deliberate. Now France defends unique initiative, meaning but less Europeans. For guaranteed colonization, we pursue deter capex, burning gases, the pipelines, outdoor resource, electrics. France also believes that energy diplomacy must be rooted in responsibility. When access to fuel or electricity becomes conditional upon political alignment, we compromise the very ideals of equality and liberty.
France stands for a European-led initiative to ensure that no nation can dictate peace through violence or power grids.
United Kingdom.
Honorable Chair, distinguished delegates, the United Kingdom stands resolute against the tragedy of turning energy, the very lifeblood of our planet, into a weapon. How tragic it is that the warmth meant to unite humanity is used to divide it. True power should not lie to light hold, not burn. The UK believes that leadership is not control, it is compassion in action. We dream of a world where no nation cheers in dark because another star to shine the bright. This is why the United Kingdom champions energy diversification, green transition, and global cooperation. Our mission is simple. Let the theme of progress warm every home, transform the soil. Let energy be the currency of compassion, not control. Because the truest measure of power is how gently it is used. Thank you, delegates.
Kingdom of Saudi Arabia.
وآخذ المملكة العربية السعودية أنها لا تستمد مبادئ النقد كسياسي كاستغلال الاتفاق ستتردد الخلاف على نبيه وعلى نفسه ودرعنا خطر في هذا الاتجاه في حال مثل مسألتها ولا يستطيع الاتفاق السياسي.
Honorable Chair, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia certainly does not use energy resources as a political weapon, but aims to maintain global market stability and energy security. Its use in production conditions as a service to the global market interest rather than political pressure.
Honorable Chair and esteemed delegates, the weaponization of energy resources is a pressing concern that affects not only the economic stability of nations, but also the very fabric of global security. The use of energy resources as a tool for coercion or manipulation undermines the principles of sovereignty and independence that we hold dear. Canada believes that the international community must work together to establish clear norms and guidelines for the use of energy resources, ensuring that they are not used as a means of coercion or blackmail. We propose the establishment of a framework that promotes transparency, cooperation, and mutual respect in the development and trade of energy resources. Let us work together to create a future where energy is used to empower, not exploit. Furthermore, we must acknowledge that the weaponization of energy resources has far-reaching consequences, including the destabilization of global markets and the exacerbation of poverty and inequality. To achieve this goal, Canada proposes the establishment of an international energy forum, where nations can come together to share best practices and develop coordinated solutions to the global energy crisis.
Canada is deeply concerned about the implications of weaponizing the energy resource. This practice not only jeopardizes global energy security, but also exaggerates tensions between nations. We need to shift our focus from using energy as a weapon to using it as a tool for cooperation and development. Canada proposes that we establish a set of principles that promote the responsibility for development and trade of energy resources, ensuring that they are used for benefits of all nations, not just a few. This includes promoting energy efficiency and investing in renewable energy resources. By working together, we can create a more stable and secure energy future for all. Canada is committed to the vision and invite all nations to join this critical effort. We believe that this critical a brighter future for all. Thank you.
Japan.
Japan seeks stability. We depend on imports, and every global fluctuation affects us deeply. Japan urges this assembly to consider renewable energy sharing as a path to independence from volatile markets. Energy should unite nations, not divide them.
Jizoku Fancy, Tokohitsi Vasosat, Oshintai, Iwakare Pinki
Japan stands firmly against using energy as a tool of coercion.
Commonwealth of Australia.
Australia believes accountability must remain central to AI in defense. Australia believes energy tech progress not create conflict or instability. We support using different energy sources and investing in renewable technologies for sustainable futures. At the same time, transitions must be realistic. As two fast changes with bad economies that still rely on global energy policy must be guided by balance, cooperation, and shared responsibility, not by blame. Australia calls for a proactive framework that allows nations to transition to sustainability while protecting the economic stability. Practical solutions and planning are essential to ensure energy security and growth. Not concentrate. Together, the international community may make energy a sustainability and long-term progress. Thank you.
Islamic Republic of Iran.
लिए ईरान में गया
After the Republic of Iran says, those who speak of weaponization are the very ones who have weaponized sanctions. We have equal free experts who answer. We demand equality. Either no weaponized energy or everyone admits we already have.
ईरान में मुदाफ़े इस्तेमाल एनर्जी थ्रेशोल्ड तैयार किया हमने आका क्योंकि गुजार एनर्जी यहाँ पर दुनिया ने आका किसी के शुमारी नवायात उतार के हमने कहा Iran firmly opposes the use of energy resources as political or military tools.
The Islamic Republic of Iran strongly believes that energy is the right for defense. Iran maintains that no country should be deprived of its right to develop and export its natural resources due to unilateral sanctions or political pressure.
Republic of Turkey.
Turkey in York. Turkey believes that energy routes must remain open and free from conflict. As a bridge between East and West, Turkey calls for diplomatic corridors ensuring uninterrupted energy flow through mutual trust and regional cooperations. Energy sırası bir tıkarı. Arasında aynı zamanda azalmalarında kandı.
Honorable Chair, energy is not merely a tool of trade, but the lifeblood flowing through the veins of peace.
Türkiye enerji hatları güvenliği alamaktadır. Ankara ülkeleri diyalog ve bilgi sunumlar kararlıdır. Turkey is determined to maintain dialogue and cooperation with both Eastern and Western nations to ensure security of energy routes.
Bizim vizyonumuz enerji kaynaklarının hiçbir ulusal baskı arasında ortak refahın temeli olmasıdır. Our vision is that energy resources should never be instruments of pressure, but foundations of shared prosperity. The delegate of Turkey reiterates that stability cannot exist where energy becomes a weapon. Turkey proposes regional energy corridors built on mutual trust, ensuring that nations remain partners, not prisoners of power. As a bridge between countries, Turkey commits to keeping the lights of cooperation burning for all. Thank you, delegates.
Arab Republic of Egypt.
السيدة الأراضي المتعاملة وعدم مثل استخدام الطاقة كسلا لفعل المسلم أو السيطرة على الآخرين فهذا يفرق مسارك ويصيب على الحياة عن عدد الجهود وخسارة الفارغة منها كما أن يعيبها التجارة على البلاد والدمين توعد مصر بدعوة استخدام الطاقة كسيطرة الشريفة وبنينا السلام ودعينا على القيام والعلم لإيتاء الأخوة والآخرة.
Honorable Chair, Egypt is against using energy as a weapon to gain power or control over others. Doing this creates more conflict and makes life harder for these countries, especially the poor ones. Also stops fair trade and development. Egypt believes that energy should be used to help build peace and support cooperation between nations, not to create fear or division.
Look at it, energy is progress. Energy is the key to progress. Look at it, it should lead a nation. Egypt supports collective management of energy resources through the UN Energy Stability Council. So smaller nations are never left in the cold. One big one, right?
Swiss Confederation.
busy with an app. Switzerland believes energy should power peace, not provoke conflict. Using energy as a weapon, cutting supplies or controlling access is really not acceptable. Energy keeps hospitals alive, homes warm, and futures bright. And to use it as a weapon and harm civilians is really not good. As a neutral nation, Switzerland calls for dialogue, transparency, and protection of energy systems because cooperation builds power, not control. Let's make sure energy unites the world, not divides it. Thank you, delegates.
Federative Republic of Brazil.
Brazil defends the equilibrium. Brazil defends balance in energy politics, reminding us that turning energy into a weapon harms not only people but the planet as well. We stress the importance of investing in biofuels and renewable energy as a key to long-term sustainability and the reduced dependency on fossil fuels. By promoting sustainable fuels and cleaner energy technologies, Brazil aims to foster energy security and environmental protection simultaneously.
This approach benefits global climate goals while ensuring fair access to energy for all nations. Thank you, Mr.
North Korea.
For decades, powerful nations have tried to control weaker ones, deciding who can trade, who can develop, and who must remain silent. True peace cannot exist where sovereignty is ignored and equality is denied.
The Democratic People's Republic of Korea firmly believes that every nation must have full control over its own energy and natural resources. To restrict the nation's progress under a false name of peace is pure hypocrisy. Such control only serves those who want very more power, leaving others dependent and voiceless. Energy is not purely fuel. It is power, independence, and survival. In an unequal world, power can never be shared fairly. The DPRK would never accept sanctions that restrict its life limit to growth. We stand firm in our belief that sovereignty is not negotiable. Every nation deserves the right to rise, develop, and protect its citizens without foreign interference or pressure.
South Korea.
Greetings, honorable chair and distinguished delegates. South Korea's position is clear. Cooperation must prevail over control. The Republic of Korea stands firmly against the weaponization of energy resources. Our dangerous threat of power is no longer measured in innovation but in influence. When oil becomes ammunition, gas becomes leverage, peace turns into privilege, not a right. Energy is to connect nations, not conquer them. Yet today we witness supply cuts used as political blackmail and trade routes transformed into tools of intimidation. Korea must the consequences of dependency. We import nearly 92% of our energy. That vulnerability has taught us a vital lesson. Energy that can be weaponized is energy that can be lost. Hence, Korea advocates for collective energy security mechanism, ensuring transparency, nuclear
appreciate and promoting renewable alternatives to hydrogen economic roadmap. These are not just policies, these are promises. Promises that energy will remain the symbol of life, not a leverage. Weaponizing energy will light borders, but it will die humanity. Our vision is a planet where every watt of power will use progress or pressure, when every spark ignites hope from hostility. Delegates, remember this. Energy should never be a weapon of power, but a weapon of wisdom. The power that fuels our world should build lives, not revolution. The Republic of Korea eventually the world. Energy no longer divides the east and west, but unites the north and south. The sun, the wind, and the atom do not belong to a nation. They belong to humanity. The Republic of Korea dreams of a world where energy is a bridge of trust, not a wall of threat. When innovation becomes the language of peace and not politics, we call upon this council to unite, transform conflict into collaboration, and urbanization into worldwide well-being. Hami and New Kyosa, Yuana Bakunda. South Korea stands unshaken, ready to war with every nation not to dominate the world's energy, but to defend its dignity.
Iraq.
أنا عايشة وهذه هذه إننا نسكن في العراق. يدعون العراق بإنشاء نظام دولي تحت إشراف الأمم المتحدة لضمان التجارة العادلة واستقرار الأسعار وتشجيع الاستثمار في الطاقة المتجددة.
Honorable Chair, for Iran, energy is not a weapon, it is the foundation of life. Experience has taught us that using energy for political pressure threatens peace and weakens trust among nations. Iran believes energy should be a means of cooperation and development, not control or conflict. Iraq supports the creation of an international trade, price stability, and investment in renewable energy.
Iraq also emphasizes that the energy security is a shared responsibility among producers and consumers, and that prices must be managed with transparency and fairness. Energy should guide the movement, not wars. Iraq calls for regional cooperation in clean energy to build a more stable and just future for all. Question. Iraq's sustainability directly impacts regional energy markets. Will Iraq commit to measures that secure its core infrastructure, ensures transparent constructions, and invite international oversight to reduce the risk of supply disruptions caused by the internal instability?
Iraq affirms a commitment to secure exports and to improve transparency in energy contracts. We welcome constructive international partnerships for infrastructure protection and capacity building, provided they respect our sovereignty and benefit the Iraqi people. Thank you.
Republic of Philippines.
Honorable Chair, distinguished delegates, the mobilization of energy is the mobilization of survival itself. When each and lighter and hostage for power, humanity shivers in the cold of greed. The Philippines believes energy should unite, not divide nations. We urge the global community to fuel be a force of cooperation, not coercion.
For the sun shines in all, and so must the benefits of its work. My question is to Iraq. How does Iraq protect its energy sovereignty amid global pressure?
By maintaining balance, diplomacy, we work with all to respect our independence.
My question is for Egypt. Would Egypt support writing international regulations that limit major producers' control over energy, even if that might reduce national flexibility?
The Republic of Egypt believes in equal representation. Even nations, big or small, deserve a say in the global energy decisions.
My question is to Canada. How will your global energy and its charter ensure real accountability? By setting a clear UN break rules and yielding views to hold all nations responsible, Canada believes that its payment for alliances rules must apply equally to all.
Question is to Saudi Arabia. How does Saudi Arabia plan to balance its oil leadership with the global shift towards renewable energy sources?
Our prediction Egypt will need to maintain party balance and global stability, never for politics. Through Vision 2030, we invest in renewables and to ensure a smooth, sustainable energy future.
Global Security Cooperation Pact establishes a permanent security dialogue forum between NATO and non-NATO states, calls for transparency in defense policies and joint verification of military deployments, promotes conflict prevention through early communication mechanisms, requests the UN nations to monitor escalations and mediate disputes.
Calls for global guidelines ensuring transparency in AI surveillance systems, urges nations to uphold human rights and privacy in all AI applications, recommends independent oversight bodies to monitor digital surveillance practices, encourages ethical AI development focused on accountability and fairness, proposes international cooperation to prevent misuse of AI for digital control.
Calls for international agreements preventing the use of energy resources as tools of coercion, urges member states to diversity energy sources to reduce dependency risks, encourages transparent and fair energy trade practices among nations, recommends global investment in renewable and sustainable energy alternatives, proposes the establishment of a monitoring body to address energy-based economic threats.
Delegates in favor of resolution 1, please raise your placards. Delegates against or abstaining? With the majority in favor, resolution 1 is hereby adopted. We'll now move on to voting on the resolutions. Delegates, please raise your placards when your country is called. United States, Russia, China, Germany, France, United Kingdom, European Union, India, Iran, Saudi Arabia, Turkey, Japan, Brazil, Australia, Canada, Egypt, Switzerland, North Korea, South Korea, Philippines. With 13 votes in favor, 4 against, and 3 abstentions, the resolution passes.
Now I request Maria Alexander to come and address the program.
Thank you so much. Please be seated. Today, the respected human delegate should not rise up. Actually, we should rise up of the world. So it was a very good experience watching you all speak, and this gives you a taste of what diplomacy is, how policies are made, and you get exposed to how United Nations functions. And it's, I think, a very important part of your social science lessons. And apart from that, you learn how to sit patiently while your friends are speaking. It was really good to see you all so disciplined and listening to every word, and then speaking in different languages, which we don't even understand, but you made an effort and a great effort. And I should congratulate your teachers and the heads who trained you for this. A big round of applause for all of them. And all of you are looking so different today, like all professionals, and very nice to see you all looking so dapper and so smart. Apart from that, the topics which were chosen were very good. So particularly the second and the third topics, those were very good. And I just wanted to understand from you all, what are your takeaways? What did you learn? Anyone wants to speak? Just in 2 minutes, okay?
Well, basically, we got to know about how the different countries stances on different topics, for example, NATO expansion and about global energy. And we also got to know how countries can have a very vast opinion on some things such as
Anyone from the water side? You want to speak up? These topics have allowed us to show that every country may be different in its culture and religion and beliefs, but all countries are looking for one thing and one thing only: a united earth where all countries live in peace and harmony. Very good. So there are some common human values which are irrespective of the country that you belong to. We all, as a human race, as a humanity, we all work towards some common goals. That's the development of all the countries. And it's eradicating poverty, hunger. Like last year, you were working on SDGs. This year, I think we didn't take it up, but all of you were speaking and making projects on the Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, if you remember it. So we have to always remember these core values of our existence, and irrespective of the religions or any differences, geopolitical differences among the countries, all of us have to stand for these values. Really happy to see that, like education for all, employability for all, and basic human needs. What are the basic human needs?
Education, security, equality.
Very good. So you all have an idea about what are the basic human rights and fundamental rights which all the countries will have it in common. But unfortunately, we see some of the countries like recently had the Taliban delegation visiting our country. So these really we understand what is happening in Afghanistan. And from sixth grade onwards, there is no education for women. There is no school. There is no university that is functioning for women. So it is really unfortunate. Recently, there was an earthquake in Afghanistan, and then the Taliban instructed that only women, aid workers could go and save the women. So all the women who were trapped in the debris, they were waiting for women aid workers to arrive. And they are allowing the women only in some fields like education and health. But that too now, because the schools are closed, there is no prospect for women to go for their further studies. They cannot go out alone, they cannot go to parks, they cannot be seen anywhere without mahram with them. So life has become very difficult. I think in that way, in that sense, we are really lucky to be living in such peaceful and developed and developing nations wherein all of us have equal rights. So there are some basic human values that we all should stand about, we all should speak about, and we all when there is such gross inequality and there is some gross violation of human rights against based upon gender, based upon caste, creed, color, or economic disparities. So that is a good lesson that I think this session teaches us, and very good. Thank you so much for the opportunity. I request to complete Sarojama, can you also give your because as a very learned senior person with us who has very deep knowledge about every topic on earth, we can discuss anything with her. So she being a researcher her whole life, I see that she has a habit of reading. And whatever the topic might belong to, any field you can ask her questions and she will give you an answer. So ma'am, your insights are very valuable.
Thank you so much for the opportunity given to me, and thanks a lot for all the kind words you have spoken about me. I may not deserve that, but still I will try to talk and address you all. Now you all have done such a commendable job today. I was sitting outside, I couldn't hear, there was so much of noise from upstairs. That's why I came in. The most important thing, actually it may not be on your agenda, but I want to bring it to your notice that these days the most talked about is the war among nations, especially in West Asia, and the Nobel Peace Prize, how the United States President is vying for it. So I actually want all of you, since you are all going to be future citizens, I want you all to think about it because the era is yours. Our generation is almost over. So now, what should the United Nations do to stop the wars? Because United Nations is the foundational body with 193 countries aiming and trying to mitigate the unrest between nations, and it is for cooperation and peace between nations. And since you are, of course, what you talked about the invasion of AI, and AI hallucinates sometimes. So AI is not reliable, but still we now in the present era. Without AI, we cannot go forward. Almost all professions it is replacing, as all of you are noticing. In spite of that, there is so much of potential for AI for us to develop. So that has to be there, it ought to be there, there is no other. Just like the steam engine has come and the entire world has industrialization has changed forever. Similarly, AI also is another path-breaking invention and has to be there. We have to live with that. But take out the positive from that, not the negatives. Recently, you heard I was talking about Taliban. That thing, in fact, I wanted to mention how fortunate we are all, especially the women and the girls. to have been in this bond and have been here bred in developed nations. Ours, of course, is developing, but still we are so fortunate. So apart from that, yesterday you might have read in the Illinois University, two students, they have manipulated the attendance through AI. So do not do in that, and they have sent emails also, you might have heard it in the news. Through AI. Please do not resort to such tricks because you may be an expert in AI, but use it to positive goals. That is what is my appeal, because positively, tremendous things you can do. You can revolutionize the whole world, and the entire world is at your footsteps with AI. So think about, I'm coming back to my Nobel Peace Prize and war. And wars are devastating. Billions are starving, dying without homes. They are all displaced. Sudan, Congo, Myanmar, Ukraine, recently Gaza, all these, especially West Asia. It is something terrible is happening to humankind. It touches the basic nerve card of our humanity. So, as future citizens, I'm just throwing it open to you. I'm not diminishing the other points in your agenda. All those are equally important. Energy, pollution, all those are absolutely important for our progress. But wars are terrible, devastating. So my appeal to all of you is just to think what United Nations should do, what it should do, whether it is doing up to the mark or not. Just think about it and keep writing articles. Don't copy the ChatGPT all that, but write on your own. You can pick up points from there, but elaborate. Even if you take an essay from OpenAI, doesn't matter, but put your own customized thing in it. That is your individuality. You have to retain your individuality. Come what may, you have to be our niche for yourself. So also, Saira means we should have a complete identity of our own. Do not copy. Take the points. So that is my sincere appeal. So wish you all excellent future, absolutely successful future. God bless you. Thank you.
We and Mushraf were in a conference yesterday, and there was a software to check the homeworks of the students. So it could analyze whether any sentence is taken directly from AI, and that way it is called plagiarism. So plagiarism is not only copying from somewhere, but also generating an answer through AI. So that is a big no. Maybe we are not being very strict right now. We are letting you copy your projects from AI, but in the years to come, and already most of the higher education institutions, like Mr. I was speaking about her son who's in IIT. So one sentence also they cannot copy from AI. So now we are copying your project from AI, but if you try to do the same thing when you go to the professional colleges, then you will get 0 marks. So that is what AI is not a replacement for yourselves. Maybe you can generate points, you just go through the article and then reproduce on your own, but don't try to directly copy. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone, and good afternoon, dignitaries for sitting here. I was feeling that all the students who have participated today are the lucky ones, because in our days we didn't have this Simone, we didn't have any parliaments, we didn't know what exactly happened at the state level or at the central level or at the international level. So you all are so fortunate that you are exposed to so many things. Everything is so transparent. You know exactly what's happening at UN. You know, UN is the one which is binding all the different countries. Now, for you to know exactly what's happening in the world, one very simple habit that you need to develop is reading the newspaper, watching TV, news, instead of just watching all the other things that you all are addicted to. Keep in mind, you keeping abreast of all the things happening around you is very important. Now, just for the sake of these 3 issues that you have spoken now, you maintain such a discipline, and this discipline has to enter your system. It is not only for these 2 hours or 3 hours that you have spent here, sitting so nicely, just trying to keep up your smiles all the time. 2 hours sitting in one place in a disciplined way. It has to be in your lives throughout. You should know how to lead a disciplined life, one thing. Getting into the habit of keeping yourself, acknowledged of all the things going around. Now, ma'am spoke about so many things happening in the world. I don't know how many of you are aware of all these things. If you are, then you are a very good student whom we can depend on because the future is yours. This generation is taking up very good issues. You are having so many challenges to face, and unless you know all about the challenges, you cannot think about the solutions. Now, ma'am has also given so many inputs to you all. Maria ma'am is a very widely, the person so confidently she speaks on every topic like Saroja ma'am, and she has given all good inputs and tried to not limit it only on in this room, in this hall. Try to recollect whatever they have spoken to, and please develop the habit of reading the newspaper every day. That we used to do in our times. We never left a day without reading the newspaper from our homes. Now you all are busy, you just don't bother which newspaper comes to your house. You don't bother to sit in front of the TV just for the news sake. I'm sure not many of you do that. Develop these two habits so that you know exactly what's happening in the world. In order to solve something, you should know what the issues are. It is not confined to the 3 issues that you have taken up for today's session. There are many more. All the human values are being targeted. Poverty is so very common. Then we have employment. Unemployment is another very big issue. Now, if you know exactly what is it, now so many people are suffering in so many places in the world. How best you can, as a student, give them ideas about how to tackle these situations. That is what you need to learn. Now you are very responsible people coming to this age. High school age is the one where you become more sensible, more responsible, and individuals. And you need to take up all these issues because you are the ones who are going to face the world in a few years from now. Once you come out, step out of the threshold of the school, you are going to face the world. So unless you are prepared for it, it is very difficult for you. Okay, and it was a wonderful session. All of you spoke so well, you all were so well, so dignified and so good in your endeavors, and Saudi Arabia was represented in their own national uniform. That was really very commendable, very nice. And thank you to our head, our principal ma'am, heading the social science department, and all the HODs. We have Atif ma'am, then Semina ma'am, and Aksha ma'am. Thank you for your guidance. It was a wonderful thing. And all the dignitaries, wonderful role you have got. President of UN also listening. Burhan, you have to prove that you can become a president someday based on all the qualities that you all have. Thank you very much and all the best.
I request Vishnu.
Moon, what an eye-catching event, isn't it? When I see the people sitting around here with a bright and enthusiastic faces, the young minds, I feel a sense of pride and optimism. We are all not just students here, isn't it? We are all stakeholders, change makers. So I really want to congratulate everybody, the organizing committee, the students, the teachers, the student leaders, who played a very important role in organizing this conference. And it is your dedication that makes our school a hub of learning and innovation. So congratulations once again. Thank you.
We are not going to take much time, but I just want to congratulate all the students. Today's event was a marvelous and vibrant event. A huge round of applause for my students. You made it well and honest and improved. Madanites are not only in one field but like academics, sports arena, and discipline-wise also we know. Yes,
So this legacy should be carried not only till your breath end, but in your rest of your life. So I just want to tell you, always catch up the challenges by embracing with a beautiful smile on your face and a positive outlook. Okay? You will know it, say it shortly. Success should be on your feet. Work for that, strive for excellence. I now request the delegates of UK, Russia, and Turkey to come forward and present a small token of appreciation, gratitude from Social Science Department to our Director Ma'am. Please come. A small token of gratitude from the Social Science Department. I request the delegates of France, China, and India to present a small token of gratitude from Social Science Department to the Principal of Namdalini, Reshma Kalinda. I now thank all the students, the faculty members, the head in charges, and the HODs of Social Science Department, especially Ms. Tamina, Ms. Afshan, and Uncle Farah Khan, the general faculty members. Thank you so much. Now I request Afshan to propose the vote of thanks.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's truly an honor to stand before you as we come to the end of this inspiring journey of the UNESCO's Model United Nations Conference. Over past few days, we have witnessed incredible debates, thoughtful resolutions, and the spirit of diplomacy come alive in every committee. Each delegate has brought passion, knowledge, and respect to the true essence of the United Nations. I would like to thank first and foremost, I would like to thank our charismatic director, Ms. Maria Arifati ma'am, who for gracing this event during the presence ma'am and sharing such motivating words, being so patient and the keen observer. Secondly, we thank our dedicated principal Surekha ma'am, who is also the department head, for her constant guidance and encouragement in making this event possible and who took keen interest in every aspect of today's event. This wonderful setup is her event. Sincere thanks to our HOD, Ms. Pratik Sultana ma'am, who mentored us, who supported us at every stage with the treasure of her experience and knowledge. Special thanks to Ms. Tamina Gunas, the man of the match. Working long hours, not leaving any stone unturned. Your patience and dedication have been our backbone. Ms. Ahmed. We also thank our adorable principal Reshma ma'am for the selection of students, training arrangement, for the and all the senior leadership team. Samira ma'am, Nusrat ma'am, Tanis ma'am, Priyanka ma'am, Zainab ma'am, Shima ma'am, Saroja ma'am, Zainab ma'am, everyone who all are present here for their presence and guidance. Thanks to Ms. Emma and Mrs. Ram for tender A big round of applause for all the educators. Research and diplomacy have made this conference a memorable one. You truly are the future leaders and the change makers of the world. Special thanks goes to Krishna. And all the volunteers and technical team behind the scenes ensure that everything runs smoothly. Students, you may be getting students today, but you have proved that you all are diplomats in making. Keep up the good work, children. Where word today's letters please begins, that's what model United Nations teaches us. I hope you all have learned very well, and I'm sure that native languages have added spice to it. As we close this model United Nations,
No, you cannot close that. President should
let
close.
us carry forward the lessons of teamwork, leadership, and global understanding that we have learned here. Thank you once again to everyone who made Marina School Model United Nation a great success. I wish you all very best until we meet again at the next session of Model United Nation.
March forward and we shall rise. Oh, come and join Marina's tribal cries. March forward and we shall rise. Oh, come and join Marina's tribal cries. All God's blessings we seek every day. On success wings we ride and sway. Our school missions let's far and wide. We are from the transformation sky. March forward and we shall rise. Oh, come and join Marina's private guide. March forward and we shall rise. Oh, come and join Marina's private guide.
Teachers we respect, our beacon of light. All but to learning, the prudent guide. Our father's mission, they forward and fight. Marina School flag shall fly very high. March forward and we shall rise. Oh, come and join Marina's private ride. March forward and we shall rise. Oh, come and join Marina's private ride.
Thank you, all delegates. Thank you, all delegates, for productive conference. We have made progress on the agenda of the session by agreeing on the solutions given by different delegates on the global issues. The skills and connections we have made here are vital, and I urge you to continue this spirit of cooperation in your own concepts by participating and promoting the principles of democracy. Let us imbibe these qualities of leadership, which are essential for positive change. I urge you to carry the spirit of union forward and be advocates of peace and cooperation in the future. Thank you, and I now declare the conference closed.
Request all the delegates to be seated. Thank you.